Thank you for all joining. Welcome to Brunch Bites. So we're going to dive into two key topics that we believe matter for every organization. So first one is AI quick wins. These are simple, practical ways AI can be used straight away that don't require big projects or major change, but can save time, improve consistency, and reduce manual work across your teams. And then also, I'm going to demonstrate our AI call recap feature on our VoIP solution, Elevate. So basically, every call, imagine that was automatically summarized, key points, actions, outcomes captured without anyone needing to take notes. This not only saves time, but also improves visibility, accountability, and follow up across your organization. Just a quick introduction. My name is Neil Melchi. I'm head of IT communications at Qlic. Basically, we're passionate with helping SMEs, charities, not-for-profits with their IT and telecom solutions. With over 20 years experience in the sector. Started in 2002, grown into one of the UK's leading managed service providers for the charity sector. We offer managed and co-managed IT support, cloud migrations, Microsoft 365 and SharePoint, cybersecurity, VoIP, broadband, and mobile solutions. All services are tailored, keeping them reliable, cost-effective, and flexible for office or remote teams. So, why AI matters for charities? The charity sector is under more pressure than ever. Many organisations that pressure shows up in very practical ways. More admin, more reporting, more coordination between teams, and more demand on already stretched resources. And the problem is that all of this takes time away from the work that actually matters, supporting your beneficiaries and service users. The good news is that many charities are already starting to explore how AI can help. The Charity Digital Skills Report, shown here, gives us some useful insights. It shows that around half of charities are already using AI in their day-to-day work for things like drafting documents, summarizing information, and supporting admin tasks. And around a quarter are going further using AI more strategically for areas such as research, planning, and decision making. So when we talk about AI, we're not talking about something distant, new, or experimental. We're talking about something that's already being used across the sector. And in many cases, it's already being used inside your organization, even if there isn't yet clear guidance, structure, or governance around it. That's where the real opportunity lies. It's not only simply about using AI, it's about using it well, securely, consistently, and in a way that genuinely supports your team rather than adding more complexity. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the tools available and where they fit in and how they can support the work your organization is already doing. So for organizations already using Microsoft 365, Copilot is often one of the easiest places to start. That's because it already sits within the tools your staff are using for every day, such as Outlook, Teams, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So rather than introducing a completely new system, Copilot helps enhance the way your team already works. And we've got some actually exciting news to share on that front. We've been working with Microsoft, and we're pleased to offer 3 months complimentary access to Let's Copilot Chat. This is exclusively for our clients. So what is Let's Copilot Chat? It's a self-paced training platform that helps users learn how to use Microsoft Copilot Chat effectively, securely, and confidently. It does this through short interactive lessons, basically practical and real-world examples. So if you're a client and you'd like to access this, please speak to your account manager. We can get you set up. And if you're not a Qlic IT client, then if you are interested, just let us know, and we can provide further details on how we can gain access. So just going back to Copilot, a good example is within Teams how this works. So many of the charities we support have Copilot licenses and are using it automatically to generate meeting summaries and action lists after leadership or project meetings. That removes the need for someone to manually write up notes, saves time each week, and reduces the risk of missing important actions or decisions. Another powerful use case is Copilot agents. These are essentially small AI assistants that can be configured to reference selected organization documents and information. For example, some charities are using them to support funding applications by pointing the agent at previous successful submissions, policies, and key documents. It can help draft new responses in the organization's tone of voice. Staff can then review, refine, and make sure the final version is accurate. Just one important note on Copilot: if you're using the free version available through Windows or Edge, it's best to avoid entering sensitive organizational or personal data. Instead of using it for, instead use it for drafting, brainstorming, and working with basically information that's not aimed at the business or organization. Anything involving internal emails, files, meeting content, or beneficiary information should stay within your organization's approved and secured system. And for organizations using Google Workspace, similar capabilities are available through Google Gemini. This integrates into tools like Gmail, Docs, Meet, offering the same benefits around like drafting, summarizing, and collaboration. Let's go move on to ChatGPT. So this is slightly different. Where Copilot and Gemini are built into specific workplace systems, ChatGPT works more like a general purpose assistant that you can use across a wide range of tasks. It's particularly helpful when you're drafting, brainstorming, planning, or working on something that sits outside your core Microsoft or Google environment. Many organizations use ChatGPT alongside their existing productivity tools rather than instead of them. So, for example, charities might use it to help draft or review a policy document, create a newsletter or social media content, develop campaign messaging, or turn rough ideas into a clear first draft. It's especially useful when you're starting from a blank page. Rather than spending time trying to work out how to begin, you can use ChatGPT to create a structured starting point. From there, your team can review it, refine it, tailor it to your organization's tone, audience, and purpose. It can also be very useful for fundraising. For example, it can help you explore campaign ideas, shape donor communication, draft appeal messages, or think through different ways that present a project or service. In terms of access, the free version can be a good starting point for everyday drafting, general idea generation. The paid versions tend to offer more features, faster performance, and stronger controls, particularly for organizations that think carefully about privacy, data handling, and internal governance. As with any IR tool, the key point is to use it thoughtfully. Avoid entering sensitive personal or organization information unless you're confident the version you're using is approved for that purpose. Simple ideas and quick wins. Once your organization has a sense of the tools available, the next step is to identify a few simple starting points. The organization can adopt AI most successfully they don't usually begin with like large complex projects. They start with small everyday tasks that basically build up over time, reduce admin, help staff, and just help staff build confidence. So, for example, meeting agendas, minutes, and action lists can be created with discussions or transcripts. That can save a significant amount of time each week, and it can also reduce the risk of important actions or decisions being missed. Long reports and documents can also be summarized in shorter, easier to read versions. Instead of working through pages of content, your team can quickly understand the key points and decide on what needs attention. AI can also support regular communication, such as newsletters, volunteer updates, or campaign messages. With the right prompt, it can help create a first draft quickly while still giving your team control over the final tone, wording, and message. Even small changes like these add up to meaningful time saving over the course of months, even. So the key takeaway is to start small, pick one or two practical use cases, test them with your team, and then build from there. Before I move on to our AI recap demonstration, I just wanted to point out some new features that are coming to Elevate. So these features are designed to make communication easier, reduce admin time, and help your teams respond faster across voice and messaging channels. So the first one I want to mention is AI Receptionist. This gives your organization an always-on virtual receptionist that can greet callers naturally, answer common questions, route calls, and even help schedule appointments. For example, a charity receiving a high volume of calls from service users can use the AI receptionist to answer common questions such as opening hours, your location, referral routes, or appointment availability. It can also route urgent calls to the right team, helping reduce missed calls when staff are busy or unavailable. The key benefit is simple: fewer missed calls, faster response, and less pressure on your team. Instead of staff spending time handling repetitive front desk queries, the AI receptionist helps manage those interactions so your team can focus on the people rather than and work that matter most. The other exciting development, which we're testing at the minute, is WhatsApp integration. So this allows your organization's WhatsApp business account to integrate directly within Elevate. You can use your WhatsApp account or create a new one for the organization. It can be linked to your main business number. So, for example, a service user may prefer to contact your organization through WhatsApp rather than calling or emailing. With WhatsApp integrated into Elevate, those messages can be managed by the team in one place. So making it easier to respond quickly, track conversations, and avoid important messages sitting on an individual device, for example. So alongside calling, voicemail, queues, and reporting, Elevate is moving towards a more joined up communication platform across voice, AI, and messaging. So another AI feature that I think is a great against for organizations. And this is the AI recap. So let me quickly load up my demo account. So just a quick rundown. Before I go into the recap demonstration, I wanted to introduce Elevate. So what is Elevate? Elevate is our cloud-based phone system, also known as UC. It brings calling, contact center capabilities together in one platform. It integrates directly with Microsoft Teams, so your organization can use Teams as the main interface, while Elevate manages the telephony side, call control, and any advanced features such as reporting, supervisor features and functions. For charities, this can help with things like managing inbound calls for donations, inquiries, and supporting hybrid and remote teams, improving visibility across staff and volunteers, and reducing admin time in general, so teams can focus more time on impact. So now let's move on to the IR recap summary. So this is Elevate. This is my Teams demo account, so it sits directly into Teams. It's also sits outside of Teams as well. So the good thing about it, for redundancy, if anything happens within Microsoft, you can still use the desktop version and the mobile app version. And there's also a web version as well. So basically, there's no downtime for Elevate itself. To access a recording and recap, simply go to a call that you've taken. So it takes about 2 to 3 minutes for the recap to generate. So at this point, I will then finish my call, give it 2 to 3 minutes. I will then have a list of all my call logs. So then if I wanted to select a call, I simply highlight the call that I want, and I've got this little AI logo here, so it knows that it's generated the summary. So simply click on it. So now on the right side, what I can see is basically a recap. I've got an overall sentiment. This will give me an indication of whether the conversation was positive, neutral, or potentially negative. For organizations, that can be really helpful. It can highlight sensitive or distressed callers, or identify particularly positive engagement with clients or donors and supporters. The next thing that you see below is your key topics. So it identifies things like, in this case, what we've discussed in this call was the Elevate application call transfer, but it could be things like donations, volunteer inquiries, service requests, support inquiries, or issues, and they could be picked up without anyone needing to tag them manually. Over time, this helps your organization categorize calls and better understand the types of conversation your teams are handling most often. And now, most importantly, the summary. So this is all this here. This was discussed within a 17-minute call, and this is summarized all in right here. Um, so you clearly get an easy to read summary of the conversation. So instead of relying on handwritten notes or having to listen back onto the full call, you can quickly understand what was discussed, what the outcome was. For example, this could have been a donor call, a support inquiry, or a conversation with a volunteer. Um, you can simply highlight this as well and copy this into your CRM system or any log login note tool you use. So for example, Charity Log. You can also copy it from here. There's also two other things that I do really like as well. So you've also got the call recording as well. So if there was something that was mentioned but wasn't added to the summary, you can listen back onto the call recording. You can also download it as well. And also you can view the full transcription. So if you wanted a more detailed report, you can open up the full transcription. This gives you the written record of what was said. It's useful for like handovers between teams, follow-up actions, and simply making sure that it was accurate, really. The big benefit here is that for using this system, um, is that no one's really writing notes. Everything is captured automatically, saves time, proves accuracy, reduces the risk of important information being missed. For charities, especially, this like really help in a few ways. So, as mentioned, reduces admin time for staff and volunteers. It makes sure important details are captured. It improves the experience for donors, service users, supporters. Um, and it can support safeguarding process by giving your organization a clear record of conversations where needed. Um, from a data point of view, this works alongside your GDPR responsibilities. So the call recording, access control, and retention settings can be managed in line with your policies. Um, the overall AI recap is a simple way to make every conversation captured properly without adding extra workload to your team.